Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menasce. Today we're talking about dirt. Not exactly the most exciting topic in construction, but it can be one of the most expensive. Over the weekend, I was planning a development that we have underway in Lake Charles, Louisiana. The site needs about 60,000 cubic yards of fill. Now, the reason for that much fill is pretty simple. The road in front of the property has a crown to it. It's about 15.5 feet above sea level. In a heavy rainfall, that crown can act like a water dam. Water can collect on the property side of the road instead of draining away. So the foundation pads need to be raised at least 1 foot above the crown of the road in order to prevent that from damming water onto the property. Sounds straightforward enough. Now, we had the exact same problem on the neighboring property, an 80-bed assisted living facility which we built. In that particular case, when we dug the detention ponds, we managed to mine high-quality native material from the bottom of the detention ponds and use that to build the foundation pads. This is a much larger site. Once you calculate how much material is required to raise the pads and bring the site up to grade, you need about 60,000 cubic yards. That's between 4,000 and 5,000 dump truck loads. That's a lot of trucks. Now, at first, the question sounds like, where can you buy 60,000 yards of dirt? But that's not really the question. The dirt itself might be cheap. The expensive part is the transportation. If dirt is sitting 2 miles away, that's one number. If it's 20 miles away and every truck has to fight traffic, then that's going to be a much larger number. The cost per yard could vary easily by a factor of 10. At 60,000 yards, even a small change in price is a big number. So we want to start looking at this differently. Instead of asking who sells dirt, we asked who has too much dirt. That's where AI research became interesting. The first results are exactly what you'd expect: commercial dirt suppliers, various supply pits, with delivered prices. Nothing wrong with that, it's just that's a conventional answer. So we widened the search. What major road projects are happening nearby? Are there any drainage improvements underway? Who's digging detention ponds? Which contractors are excavating large volumes of soil? And are there subdivision projects nearby that are cutting down sites? Is there someone else in the area paying to haul away dirt? That's a completely different question. Once you ask it that way, you get a different picture. The research identified several major infrastructure and drainage projects in the Lake Charles area, and one of them involves an 18-acre detention basin. A project like that could generate easily over 100,000 cubic yards of material. So now you have potentially one project that needs to get rid of dirt and another project that needs a similar amount of dirt. The opportunity is not the dirt, it's the connection. The contractor excavating the basin may already be paying trucks to haul that material somewhere. Now, if your site is closer, properly permitted, you might be able to receive that material. Suddenly, you might be solving their disposal problem and solving your own fill problem. That could dramatically reduce the cost. Now, of course, not all dirt is suitable. Material under the structural foundation needs to meet specific geotech requirements. It's got to be select fill. It's got to be free of organic material. It's got to have the proper moisture content, and it's got to survive compaction testing. So AI doesn't replace the civil engineer or the geotech engineer, and it doesn't tell you whether the dirt's going to be suitable, but it does point you in the direction of conversations that are worth having. It helps to identify where the soil is being generated, who controls it, how far away is it, and whether the timing might line up with the project. In this case, it gave us exactly who to contact, complete with phone numbers. AI can pull those pieces together quickly enough to show you where to look, and that could be worth a lot of money. If you're importing commercial fill at, say, $18 a yard, at 60,000 yards, that's over $1 million. Now, if suitable material is available nearby and you're paying mostly for the trucking, the cost could be quite a bit lower. That difference could be several $100,000, potentially more. It all started because the crown of the road could hold back water. The pads need to be raised in 12-inch lifts, compacted individually, so that we can build the foundations on top of that, and that created a fill requirement. Then AI helped reveal somewhere nearby another project might have the exact opposite problem. These are the types of things that conventional Google search are not going to uncover for you. Moving dirt is one of those items that from the end customer perspective doesn't really add value. They tend to focus on the finishes, the amenities, all of the parts of the project that they interact with on a daily basis. If a piece of dirt ends up costing a couple of $1 million more because you ended up having to move a lot of dirt, that's just an added cost to the project, but it's not an added value to the project, at least from the end customer's perspective. AI is showing up as a potential shortcut to save hundreds of thousands on a project, simply by enabling you to connect the dots in ways that weren't obvious before. As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.